top lithium miners on the ASX are up 59% for the month, and the lithium price is only up 5.7%. We're looking at the top 6 on the ASX, the news behind it, and how to connect these themes and the companies for better trading, which is what we do in Shares in Play and Finer Market Points. You can like the video to support the channel, click subscribe for updates, and you can comment below to let us know which lithium companies you're trading and why. Now, the big news over the last month in Australia for lithium miners is that 2 of Australia's largest miners are looking to merge to make the world's 5th largest lithium producer. This will come in behind Ganfeng Lithium, Albemarle, SQM, and Tanqui Lithium. So number 5 will be comprised of Orocobre and then also Galaxy. Now, Orocobre announced that the all-stock deal is to buy the small domestic and rival Galaxy. So together, they're going to be worth about $3 billion. Orocobre run the Olaroz lithium operations in northern Argentina, while Galaxy runs the Mount Cattlin mine in Australia, and they also have projects under development in Argentina and Canada. Now, this deal is due to be closed or wound up in August, and the combined entity's assets will include hard rock lithium, brine, and chemicals in Australia, Argentina, Canada, and Japan. So this news has pushed up their share prices and also pushed up the Global X Lithium and Battery Technology Exchange Traded Fund as well. So what this will have is great news for their increased capacity and global profile as a lithium producer ranked number 5. But there's still a large supply deficit on the horizon in the lithium markets. So Chinese prices for battery-grade lithium carbonate have risen over 100% since the start of the year. What we're going to look at here on the chart is you can see lithium prices over the 1 year, you've seen it ticking up. So we're highlighting here around the 4,000 coming up to 85,000. But let's bring this out in the 5 years to get an understanding of where it's been. It has come back from that supply glut that we saw 2017, more and more coming online, and that massive drop into 2018, which we'll touch on in a second, and how that's impacting the market and also the raisings. So there we go, make that nice big. What we also see is that as this has been moving, the lithium prices boomed before, but that wave of investment of new mines really came through. And you can see that on the chart, all this red down here throughout 2018, 2019, then we had COVID 2018 and quickly turned around. And we have been watching and following that. So you can click to see other updates that we have provided throughout this period as lithium has been running up. But we did see that the prices for years, they have caused a lot of pain for lithium investors. But the lithium demand is set to surge almost 300% by 2030, which analysts at Bank of America have forecast in their recent notes. Now, the demand in 2020 was 143,000 metric tons, and they're expecting that to rise to almost 1.2 million tons by 2030. So 10-year movement, almost a 10-fold increase. Now, the supply in 2020 was 405,000 tons, putting into perspective, there's that supply glut that we were talking about. And you can see that really in the price and the charts here, but that has turned around a lot, especially with Joe Biden coming in. And we do see that happening here, December through to where we are now in May 2021. Now, the problem with the outputs increases is that they're mostly coming from existing producers at the moment. So 2020, 2021, we are seeing that ramp up to meet this increased demand, but that supply is really coming from the existing miners, those companies. And in the end, that's really a limited scope of how much can be increased. Most analysts are seeing that the supply shortage is really moving back into deficit. So the oversupply moving to deficit, which is why we're seeing that price move in the lithium commodity itself. And then they're staying there as the new additions that would be coming online would not be fast enough. This is different to if we zoom out to have a look at that 10-year movement that we've seen on the charts previously. We have seen that's still that drop. So what we're expecting is a longer and prolonged rise in demand. Anyway, that's really looking at the forecast of the lithium prices, but the industry really needs further investment to notably increase that supply. So whether that's coming from existing producers going on acquisition and hunting sprees as they're raising capital, or whether that's more microcaps trying to turn into producers, we're going to see that in the corporate actions as they unfold in a much similar way to what we've seen with Orocobre and Galaxy. Now, this is all happening while Europe is challenging China as the world's largest market for electric vehicles, while demand in North America is expected to grow thanks to the government support for green energy technologies that we've looked at before. But here's where we tick over to have a look at the top 6 lithium producers and miners on the ASX. Interestingly, the favorites that we've seen many months before have not shown up. So we're going to jump in and have a look at those charts now, because many watchers and listeners ask about these companies all the time. So we've got Lake. Let's drill down to the daily chart here. You can see this was really comprising for a high and tight flag, massive movement under 10 cents, up to 40 cents, and then creating some sort of flag. A bit too volatile to really be traded, broke out, and then it's creating a longer flag. The longer flags tend to be less into the pattern, but anyway, it has been moving, and you do see that price spike there. But for the month, they're down 6.25%. So that's Lake Resources. Sayona Mining, another favorite for many traders. That performance, they're up 2.67% for the month. Having a look at that chart again, similar thing to Lake, massive explosive movement, being a pullback, bit of a V bottom here, and then still consolidating around that 3.5, 4 cents. SYA here, you can see on the depth, looking to open about 3.7 cents in about 5 minutes time. Then we do see another one moving up is Piedmont Lithium PLL, another company we've looked at many times before, looking at 3.75% gains, 35% for the quarter, 232% over the year. Piedmont Lithium PLL, more prolonged movement. So they did start moving September, October, and then around the time here where we saw Sayona and Lake Resources running, still gaining, but then consolidating between its 80 cents to $1 mark. Then we move into the ones that have announced the acquisition side, Orocobre. Now, this company is up 29% for the month. Not quite making the top 6, 27% for the quarter, 112 for the year. For the chart in comparison, you can see here, ORE is taking up this movement here, and this is around the time here of the announcement. Now we're coming to number 6, SRK Strike Resources, 31.85% for the month. Have a quick look at that chart. You can see similar thing, lithium is in favor and has been gaining and growing, and then good jumps, good healthy volume here to the right-hand side. FEL is the next one. FE Limited, they do have a foot in many camps. Lithium is not their only possession that they're looking after, and the mineral that they're pulling out. That's 35% gains for the month. Now we come back into another acquisition one that we've looked at before, Galaxy Resources, 36% gains. To round this out, there's the chart for FEL. And then we come back to Galaxy being a big name that many Australian investors in the lithium space know very well. Good quick gains from $2.40 to $4, solid move indeed. Now we come into the top 3, FFX, Firefinch FFX here. There's a good strong chart. You can see the breakout, 24 cents, and then reasonable volume on the gains. Now this is a gold miner with lithium developer. So they've got 2 assets in Mali. So the Marilla gold mine and the Jindalee Lithium project. So that's what they're looking at. They have announced they're dewatering their pit in Marilla. So that's the gold mine that they're talking about. That's been the recent news coming from Firefinch. You can see here, there you go, increasing their ounces of gold in that mine. So that's been the more recent news, which is concerning to see that a company with foots in both camps, it's not boding well for lithium being this strong movement. And as you saw here, 5.72% gains over the month. So that is what we can expect to see. Walkabout WKT is a ticker. They're up 53% for the month. Now, this company we have surfaced before, well and truly before this breakout, and they have put on massive gains, 18 to 36%. Now that's a huge movement, strong in the flagpole, massive volume, and then consolidation that we're seeing here. If we do see that consolidate and break out, pocket pivot style, or a good volume on the downtrend of the B wave, that would be a high and tight flag. So this is a candidate for us to be watching on that high tight flag. And the West Australian-based African miner that do focus on graphite, but they do have the Jindalee Jumbo Graphite project in the East Tanzania as their project, their key one. But they all are also looking at graphite, gold, base metals, and lithium. So that flagship graphite project is the main one, but they're also looking at lithium in southern Namibia. Number 1 is JRL. So let's have a look over here. Can see 59% performance for the month, and this chart is quite phenomenal. We are seeing a high and tight flag breakout, and it is about to open in about 5-6 minutes. Let's zoom in here. We do see the massive run, 80 cents to 160 consolidation. That is a volatility contraction pattern, and then bang, breakout, good volume, and then up in the move. This has created a second flagpole, or a third if you want to come all the way back here, or fourth going back to August. Let's zoom in and have a look at this for a high tight flag. Trading halt, big volume, then consolidation, contracting volatility, nice tight ranges here in comparison to what we've seen. So that's late April, consolidation, and then what we see here is a good strong breakout in the volume yesterday. So zeroing here, let's see the volume to the top left in this summary chart. Volume 407,000 versus what we've seen here, 119,349. So big changes in the volume, and that is breaking that downtrend. It was a half mask close, so they didn't close on their highs, they closed mid-range. And let's see how they're opening in the pre-open. There we go, 324 on the match, last 315. There are many people who like this high tight flag. They want to get on top of it. Decent size order here at 320 that they're pipping in front of. That is one to trade, looking to trade, and might be those for who want the high volatility of trading. And what we do see with these patterns is that it's quite possible to see this breakout here extended up here. So a quick measure rule, we're looking at 181, we're looking at 340. So there you go. Let's say another $1.60 on top of that, $1.60 from the breakout point. We're going to 460 there, about 75% of the 160. If I put $1.10 would be a conservative target from 3, getting to $4, $4.10. That's where it could be running, and it could do it quite quickly, as it has shown here. It can easily put on $1 within a day. So they're the top lithium miners on the ASX. If you want more updates, you can subscribe, click the bell for the alerts. We're going to round out because the market's open and we're off. Thanks for joining us.